the Central Intelligence Agency has an entire breakdown of the spiritual nature of the universe. And all the documents were declassified in 2003, from how each dimension interacts with one another to the holographic nature of existence. The infamous Gateway documents contain some of the most mysterious information ever brought forward to the public. In part 1 of this series, we broke down what the CIA had to say about the fundamental building blocks of reality. The second half of the documents go in depth on the multidimensional aspects of existence, the process of going out of body, and even how to travel into the past or future. Now the fun begins. Gateway involves more than just perception of those aspects of the universal hologram, which can be accessed in the dimension of space-time as we know it. To understand why human consciousness can transcend the confines of space-time is the next concept which we must address. To do this, first we must understand what space and time are in order to understand that the dimension they constitute can be transcended. You, an energetic being, are contained by your body. And when you, let's say, want to get up and walk to the fridge, you get up from point A and travel through space-time to point B. But if you want to travel while you're out of body, there's a problem. In order for you to travel anywhere, you must be confined somewhere. Meaning, if you wish to travel from point A to point B, you cannot be both point A and point B. As the document states, energy that is not confined is without limit, without dimension, without the limits of form. It is infinity and cannot move because there is nothing beyond infinity and is outside of the dimension of time. It is also beyond space because that implies that there is a specific energy form in a specific location and is absent from other locations. But if energy is in the state of infinity, there are no boundaries, no here to differentiate from there, no sense of area at all. Energy in infinity means energy uniformly extended without limit. It has no beginning, no end, and no location. But that is not the case with all out-of-body experiences. In fact, this only happens when someone's consciousness is so expansive that it encapsulates all that is around them, and thus becomes all that is around them. According to the documents, one can detach themselves from their human vessel, but still remain a disembodied spirit from everything else around them, and consequently can travel from A to B. More on this later, but for now, here is, as the document puts it, how to merge into the absolute. The absolute can almost rightly be called God for all intents and purposes. That may sound heretical, but you can judge for yourself. The absolute is conscious energy in infinity, i.e., without boundaries. It occupies every dimension, including the time-space dimension, which we exist but cannot perceive it. That being said, there are dimensions between the physical and the absolute. What the document calls intervening dimensions. Places of differing structures and rules. Layers between the limited realm of space-time and the infinite realm of the absolute. To enter these intervening dimensions, human consciousness must focus with such intense coherence that the frequency of energy pattern, which comprises that consciousness, i.e. the brainwave output, can accelerate to the point where the resulting frequency pattern, if displayed on an oscilloscope, would look virtually like a solid line. This is what the practice and the discipline of hemisync seeks to accomplish, to train you to develop laser-like focus so you can break out of this reality.
You are going to learn to use waves of your own natural energy. You will learn to focus these and direct these energy waves that even now are a natural part of you, waves of vibrational energy.
To achieve this, you must discipline yourself through the 11 gateway tapes and the 27 focuses within them.
This exercise and others to come will help you learn to create and use consciously for your own mental and physical well-being such natural energy.
Some can break through on their first try. For others, it can be way more difficult. The document calls this clicking out of reality,
And curiosity often leads to trouble.
and further describes the phenomena as when human consciousness passes through the looking glass of time-space, after the fashion of Alice beginning her journey into Wonderland. Look at the picture of what is drawn in this document. This is the section we call physical reality, the three-dimensional existence that we operate in every day. These are the dimensions between the absolute and the physical that we can access through out-of-body experiences by clicking out of reality. And here is the so-called absolute, the infinity which encapsulates everything. Now you might be wondering what the clicked out space is like. Well, it is described as a place where movements become jerky rather than smooth. Time and space may become grainy or chunky. In short, a pair of events will occur in either time or space, the pair not being connected causally, but by a random fluctuation. But even more important, access is opened to both the past and the future when the dimension of the current space-time is left behind. And according to the CIA, this is the place where time travel is possible. But the place part of that statement is pretty interesting. The document provides these pictures to illustrate what the place is. And by place, I mean universe. Now we can get back to how to go out of body. As noted earlier, the out-of-body state involves projection of a major portion of the energy pattern that represents human consciousness, so that it may move either freely throughout the terrestrial plane or into other dimensions outside of time-space, perhaps to interact with other forms of consciousness within the universe. Yes, the CIA just claimed the existence of interdimensional beings that can be accessed on the other side of the gateway. The gateway process begins by teaching the participant to isolate all their concerns into an energy conversion box. Next, a single monetary tone is played for the mind and body to sync up with.
Create now in your mind, or just simply think about it, a personal energy conversion box. A box so strong that it can contain and hold anything you put into it.
Following this, the participant is exposed to the gateway affirmation and is encouraged to repeat it to himself as he hears it repeated on the tape.
Say to yourself, I am more than my physical body. Because I am more than physical matter, I deeply desire to expand, to experience, to know, to understand, to control, to use such greater energies and energy systems as may be beneficial and constructive to me and to those near and close to me.
The document then tells you to envision an energy balloon around you, of which energy flows in every direction from your head to your feet. This toroidal field is supposed to help with energy flow, but is also used as protection in case you go out of body. Conscious entities at lower energy states can be there to attack you
and reopen channels of communication with your non-physical friends.
It sounds like the CIA is claiming that demons exist, and that the way to prevent them is to imagine yourself in a balloon. Having reached Focus 10, the participant is now ready to endeavor to achieve a state of sufficiently expanded awareness to begin actually interacting with dimensions beyond those with the experience of physical reality. This state is called Focus 12 and involves conscious efforts on your part while white noise and pink noise are being played in your ears. It sounds like this.
You are now in Focus 12.
Once you have achieved this state of greatly expanded awareness, you are now ready to use the tools necessary that the gateway tapes provide that will allow you to achieve personal growth and self-discovery. However, the technique of time travel into the past involves further expansion of consciousness through the inclusion of additional levels of sound on the hemisync tapes. They sound something like this.
In this exercise, you will return to and reinforce your experience of Focus 12, strengthening your foundation as a springboard for even more expanded explorations.
Few people make it this far, and even fewer make it beyond this point. Less than 5% of people were able to make it to Focus 15, even though they had 7 days of training. But the further you can make it, the crazier it gets. The last and most advanced of all the focus states associated with the Gateway training program involves movement outside of the boundaries of space-time, but with attention to discovering the future rather than the past. The individual who has achieved this state has achieved a very advanced level. Out-of-body movements and travel to the future or the past involve listening to this sound.
Focus 15 is a place that is not limited by time or space.
Once you achieve this state, you can travel anywhere instantaneously. However, numerous experiments have been conducted involving persons moving from one coast to the other coast out of body and read a series of 10 computer-generated numbers in a university laboratory. Although most have acquired enough of the digits to make clear that their consciousness was present, none have ever succeeded in getting all 10 correct. The document claims that the reason for this, because the individual, while out of body, encounters other holographic influences, other entities outside the physical world. The document arguably leaves us with more questions than answers. If you wish to find these answers, and find the true nature of our spiritual and energetic reality, then find a quiet spot, put your headphones on, and turn on the tapes. Safe travels.